afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Another edition of the Four Old Farts.
Here to yelling and screaming. Yay!
Yep.
Balloons, confetti.
The kids especially. They love us.
They just
the young people. Yeah.
In fact, I think some of them took off to school today.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so they get home on time.
You get a leg up on things. But no, we're very popular with the younger people.
Yes.
They see us as,
equals.
Well, maybe sort of like folk heroes. I'm going to live my life like Dwayne.
Like they do. Yep.
Or like the other one, the crazy one. But anyway, so listen, folks, thank you for tuning in. We have an enjoyable session coming up. You'll notice new flags. This is a little improvement on our part. I busted the budget. So if you want to send us money, used money, large amounts in plain paper bags.
No serial number, sequential.
Yep, we'll get some more flags.
All right.
Now, on that note, Dwayne would like to have, Dwayne Weiss, Norman Eichel, John Byrne, and I'd rather not use my name.
That's all right. He's got some wanted posters out, so this time we're watching this, it's going to be pretty close to Memorial Day.
Here we go.
And every Memorial Day, Norm and I probably you, we're members of the American Legion. You will find us at either Dunkin' Donuts, the transfer station. Notice I didn't say dump. It was the transfer station in various places with poppies.
Yep.
Now, poppies go back a long time in tradition, and we would like you to take a poppy, wear it in remembrance of veterans, both alive, dead, their families, and everything. This money all goes for veterans' activities. And we only do this once a year. But you'll even find people, if you go to Stop and Shop in Foxborough, you'll find the VFW is doing it there. All veterans groups are doing it this time of year. Support us. And we always have a donation. Just throw a buck or two in a can. It's going to go for a good cause. Norm, what do you got to say about it? Norm's also a member here, so
well, my father introduced me to the story about poppies in World War I because he was in Flanders Field, where the poppies grow. And the American Legion back then, World War I, got together and formed the American Legion.
That's right. And
it's been going good ever since. And as we've noted that we have these poppies out there, and I usually get down to the Dunkin' Donuts and I hand out poppies, especially to the little kids, and I'll say, this is to support the veterans. Oh, okay, that's fine. And every once in a while, somebody will come along and say, well, how much are they? They're free. We give poppies out to you people for free. Oh, isn't that nice? And then they put money in the can. Mm-hmm. And that works out very well. And I say to people, put this on your rear view mirror so that everybody can see it and you won't get bugged again to buy a poppy because they can see you've already got one. And it works very well. And the poppy drive works very well for our Legion post.
Unfortunately, and there's only one thing I've found, is get a reply from a youngster. What's a veteran?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had that happen yet.
Really? Well, I have. And that's disconcerting, to say the least.
Yeah.
That we're forgetting about.
Last Veterans Day, I was asked to speak at which one? The
one of
grade
those
schools.
Affairs,
I forget which one's which. That's where the older kids are.
Right.
And that's the question I ask. What is a veteran? And what can you do to honor veterans for Veterans Day? And I said, it's real simple. Just ask you out. You see somebody with a veteran's hat or a veteran's shirt or anything, ask your mother and dad, can you thank them for their service? I said, you'll feel good and the veteran will feel good. And I explained the veteran as somebody who was in one of the 5 services. And
happened to me twice this morning over to Millis, over to Roche Brothers. One of the guys was a World War II vet.
Yeah, I did. I happened out of the casino at Plain Ridge. He was in a wheelchair. And he said, thank you for your service. I said, well, thank you.
That's what I said to him. I said, thank you for your service, young man.
Yep.
Well, thank you, too. He was, but very spry.
That's right.
And getting around just fine. I think it was the U.S. Navy.
Yep.
But anyway,
What MacArthur said, we don't die, we just fade away.
that's General MacArthur said that, and no truer words were ever spoken. Yeah. All right, then. Anything else further?
No, we thank
No.
you, everybody.
Okay, so you've been warned, folks, and we better not catch you without your poppies.
That's right.
Or else
It'll be
is-
the poppy patrol out there.
That's right. John is going to be deputized to
Yeah.
go door to door checking.
He is tough.
He's no pushover. So, with that said and done, I have a few questions to start off with, but first of all, I've been thinking about this question for quite a while, and I was going to spring it on these guys, but I didn't have a good answer for myself. What would my answer be? So I've been thinking about this, and I now know exactly what my answer is. But, so here it is for you guys. Fair warning also, we'll tell the truth on this show. I gave them a heads up about 3 minutes ago about what the question was going to be. So if they try to say, oh, what a surprise this is, or you caught me unawares or something, they're only pulling your leg. They're
We
warned.
still might look like a deer in the headlights.
Right.
Say what?
Say what?
So what is the biggest change or changes that you have seen in your lifetime?
I think that I'm not going to say, but you go first. I think that for us, it's a lot easier than asking a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my
a
God.
kid hasn't had much of a
Yeah,
lifetime.
he grew up with this.
Yeah, I mean, what's the kid going to say? Oh, we have a brighter computer
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
It's got 5G or some bloody thing. It's unfair to ask John. I'm going to ask you because you're more glib.
One word.
One word.
Digital. Everything is digital, whether it be music, computation, the internet, everything is digital. When I used to start hearing digital, 20 years ago, I thought, what in the hell is digital? These are digits, my fingers. But then it was pluses, or ones and zeros, and somebody tried to explain it to me. I said, come on. And it had open gate and closed gate, and I said, I'm not going to
Yeah, biting
stay
on
with
this.
this too far.
Yeah.
But everything turned to be digital. Digital led to the internet, and that changed everything that we do. Just think of a day that goes by that you don't use that internet. You might not be on it, but everything that you do is on it. Now, I sat there one day and I said to Monica, I said, just imagine your grandparents suddenly showed up. Just take them around the house. What's that? That's a microwave. What does it do? Well, it warms stuff up. Well, how? Well, I don't know.
You plug it in.
Yeah, you plug it in. How come your phone doesn't have a cord on it? How does the sound get from that cord out to the street? I don't know. How can you change the channel on TV just by pressing a button? And how in the hell can your TV know to send a signal to someplace else thousands of miles away? How does all this work?
How can you look at your computer screen and see your brother-in-law
Yeah.
down in Dallas, Texas?
Or now the smartphones, you can talk to somebody,
Yeah.
you can see them.
Yeah.
How does that work? That's all that digital.
Yeah.
And
In some of it's scary, too. The crap they put in cars.
oh yeah.
And I was always taught one of the laws was not to have anything on or about your person to impede the proper use of your vehicle. And yet, the cars are coming through with 10-inch big screens
Yeah.
in the middle of the dashboard, and they're interactive. You got to push
You got to
buttons.
reach out and touch stuff.
Yeah, and you got to look.
Yeah.
And say, oh, no, I don't want that hot. Scale the temperature down a few degrees. Oh, I don't want that station. I want BZ. It's a miracle anybody watches the road at all.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
I tell you, I don't go for that stuff. I want a heater. I want a couple of knobs. That's
Yeah,
what
me
I
too.
want. And I want a
something easy.
radio. I want to be able to turn it on and twist it to change the channel.
At my age, I want simplicity. I don't want complexity.
Yeah.
And it gets worse and worse and worse. Again, we're talking like old farts here, but
Well, we are.
That's what we are. That's the whole theme of the show.
Well, I was hoping we could get around that, but
Well, you can be a young fart.
Yeah.
okay.
So, all right, Norman, what's the biggest change or changes you've
Well,
seen?
when I was growing up, all the kids had a mother and a father, and they were married.
Good point. Yeah.
And that's the way it was. But now things have loosened up to a point where people have children and they get divorced and then they get remarried, and things get very confusing. People have different names in the family and all this kind of stuff, which makes life very confusing to me. But that's the way it
Makes
is.
it what it is to the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Today it's sort of the kids come first, and then maybe marriage at some point.
And then in my neighborhood, I used to know everybody on the street. Now I don't know everybody on the
yeah.
street. I know the people live directly aside of me and in front of me, but one house down, they come in and they move out, and I don't know who they are. So people are disconnected, and they're all running on their own beam.
I lived in a town where everybody knew, I think everybody, because we couldn't do anything without our parents finding out. Mm-hmm. Right. Probably time we got home from doing something wrong, my old man knew it.
Yeah, I know. John?
I got similar thoughts, a little bit different, but the world has become so complex. That the level of complexity is just it's mind-boggling, and I got a theory that people have everybody has short tempers now. They have no time for anything.
And short attention spans with it.
Very short attention span, and I think I think it's all related to these computers.
Yep.
And people's expectations, everything's got to be instant. It used to
That's
be
right.
instant gratification is one thing, but I mean, things that shouldn't take that long. Now people want it like this. They want an answer just like this. And I think right now there seems to be a lot of people drinking the wrong Kool-Aid because there's more nut jobs walking around on the streets and violence and stuff. And I think people have shorter tempers and fuses, and they're less able to cope. And that's getting worse.
That's a good point.
We have deinstitutionalized a lot of people with mental problems, emotional problems, and legal problems in this state. We used to have Rentham State School. We used to have Foxborough State Hospital, Medfield State Hospital, Taunton State Hospital, and on and on and on and on. And when people were in trouble, they would go away to the state hospitals where they'd receive care. They would be taken care of. I've seen it firsthand. Medfield State Hospital especially. They worked well over there. They were taken good care of. And for a lot of people, that's where they really and truly really should be. Not out on the streets because they cannot cope
with it. Yep.
Yeah. And yet, we have the good do-gooders. Put them in the community.
Mainstream
the
them.
community will strengthen them.
Yeah, right.
Well, what a bunch of baloney that is. The community doesn't have the time or the energy or the will to do anything with these people. Told the story before. It's worth one more tale. I used to go over Medfield State Hospital with my cousin John. He was the campus police chief over there. And he'd say every once in a while, hey, take a ride with me. I want to go over and check up on the night guards and see what's going on over there. And we'd go over and go in the canteen and have a cup of coffee with the patients and got to know Frankie Pacini. Now, Frankie was dropped off there when he was 3 months old. His parents didn't want him. Mm-hmm. He received no education. And Frankie, as a result, was kind of slow. But he was a nice guy. His whole life was getting up in the morning and going on the laundry truck with Gray Richards. Gray, it was Ray, but he called him Gray. He used to love to do that. And, you know, we'd stop sometimes at Friendly's and get him a pint of ice cream because we knew we'd see him over there, you know? And I'd give him a pint of ice cream, and he would reach out and take my hand and kiss it or kiss my shoulder. And yet, they seem to think that Frankie would have been better off out in the community. So they finally got their wish when they closed down Medfield State Hospital. They put him in the Doolittle home over in Foxborough. They bid on taking care of those people. They put Frankie there. The next time I saw Frankie, he was sitting in a doorway in the center of Foxborough crying. Frankie! Bill! What are you doing? Why can't I go back home?
Yeah, to him that was home.
Yeah.
And then he told me, I found out. They wake him up, they get up, they have showers, 8 o'clock they have breakfast. Out.
Yep.
They come back at 12 for lunch. Out. They come back at 4:30 to clean up and have supper. And then they get a little bit of recreation time, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, bed. That was it. And none of his friends, he knew none of his friends. He was put in with strangers. And so we took him down to Friendly's and bought him an ice cream, and he didn't want to let us go. 40 years in Medfield State Hospital, and you take him and you put him out in the world. Cool. Boy, oh boy, that's really, the community is really helping Frankie and some of the other poor people that were in there. Walpole used to be a powerhouse in high school hockey. When I went to Walpole, the top hockey player, I won't mention his name, top hockey player back in the 50s, graduated from high school. Some sort of a traumatic experience, and spent the rest of his life in Medfield State Hospital. Here's a kid that was headed for college. Who knows what he would have been? But that was a place where he lived. I saw him over there. That's where he belonged. To take him and put him out with society when he can't function. He had lost the ability to reason. It's cruel.
Yeah,
It is. It's heart-wrenching.
It is, so we haven't come far as that's concerned. We've regressed terribly.
and they could stick these kids, mainstream them, in schools. They have no idea what's going on, some of these, in the classroom. Except the other kids can't get an education because they're screaming and yelling and fighting and throwing things.
Exactly right. The special needs kids, God bless them,
Yeah,
belong over here.
that's right. And there's nothing wrong with special needs.
No, there isn't. But you can't put the special
That's right.
needs
You
in
can't
with the
identify
kids that headed for college.
Yep.
Because one or two or both of the groups are going to have a bad experience.
And they live in different worlds.
Yes,
Completely different
exactly.
worlds.
So you can't teach at the level of special needs because what are the smart kids going to do?
Yep.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah.
Yeah. So then the special needs kids get lost when you try to teach to the college level kids. It's not fair to either group. And this is not a good deal. But anyway, I digress. Biggest change I've seen in my life, Norman hit on it. The breakdown of the family unit.
Yep.
It is a crying shame when you see kids being raised by single parents
Or grandparents.
or grandparents.
Now you see a lot of grandmothers raising them. Not only they don't know who the father is, they don't even know where the mother is.
How about these kids with 5 siblings
Yeah.
by 3 different men?
Yeah.
They got 3 different names, Jenkins, O'Brien, and Smith.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and their brothers or sisters. I mean, this just defies all logic. And to hear a single parent say, I can do just as good a job without a husband, or I can do just as good a job without a wife. That is baloney.
Yep.
absolute, total, complete baloney. Takes two parents. What do you suppose God created Adam and Eve for? The ideal family, a man and a woman.
Married.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of
Married.
course, for stability.
Well, that's another.
But you got,
that's another
because you got
degree.
two role plays.
Yeah.
You got the boy child and the girl child, and they need different genders for role models.
There was a case of a kid going to kindergarten, and they were registering him, and the report from the doctors, the medical reports and everything, that file and all that stuff, indicated he was a boy. Mother didn't want a boy. She had two boys. Mm-hmm. She was raising him as a girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I know that case.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I mean, that woman should be put away. I mean,
and then
to
she
screw
tried to say,
up a kid like that.
He knew he was a girl time he was 3 years old.
Yeah,
no
right.
kid knows that. You've just been pounding it into him.
That's right. If all he knows is what you've told him,
Yep.
and dressed him like a girl,
Yep.
and girl functions, I mean, what the heck?
Now, can you imagine the conversation right now we're having if people in People's Republic of Cambridge is watching?
They're not happy. I
They'd
can
go
tell
crazy.
you that.
I mean, we're going to get stoned. Really.
And I like some of the new vernacular is really good
Oh,
too.
my God.
Yeah. Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, good. How's everything? Well, big shakeup in the family. Bobby has decided to present as a girl.
Now, Roberta.
Yeah, so it's now Roberta, and she now prefers to be referred to as Roberta,
Oh, speaking of which,
and has presented as a girl.
we're going to have a third choice for gender on the Massachusetts driver's
X.
license.
Well, if it goes through.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Who knows? Sometime or other, I think common sense
I've
might
never felt
prevail.
like an X.
Yeah, X. The X factor. Give me a break. So the other part of the breakup of the family unit, also the diminished influence of religion in everyday life. Now religion is, it's sort of like going shopping, I guess, or hanging out with it lacks importance in kids' lives.
Oh, yeah.
And this, of course, is the parents. But the other side of the coin, I've often thought to myself in church, why would young people come to church? What is there? And that's what they say to me is what's for me there, And that's the parents' role. They have just abrogated their responsibility, it seems to me. I dragged my kids to church until they were 18. Then they were on their own. Not much I could do after that. But I did my best. Well, no one does their best. But I tried. And it's another example. One of the really fun things I did was later on in life, after I'd retired, I became a CCD teacher, Sunday school teacher. And it was a fun experience. I got the 9th grade.
Wouldn't you love to sat in on that?
No, I'm glad you. Yes. And it was sex and morals or something like that. And the reason I got that, nobody else wanted to teach it. Yeah. So it's like so to the kids.
Today, that could be a dangerous subject.
Yeah.
Because you never know when somebody's going to sue you.
I said to them, look, guys, I'll answer any question you got. Okay? I'll tell you the truth. I'll do it the best I can. I won't dodge any questions. And if it comes to it, I'll get Father Connolly down here, okay, to answer them, and we'll hold his feet to the fire. But I'll tell you, I had a lot of fun with those kids. I learned a lot from them. Especially one year, I got, we had 10 kids to a class, and I got the smart kids.
Can't say that anymore.
And that was really interesting to have conversations with them. So we had a catechism, a book, a study book. So one day, I said, halfway through the year, I said, okay, now, because I said to them, look, this class is truth-based. I'm not going to try to smoke you. I'm not going to try to fool you. I'm not going to try to kid you. I'll tell you exactly the truth as I know it to be. And I'll do the best I can working with you. So one day I said, tell me something, kids. Who studied for this chapter? Anybody? Not one hand went up.
Nope.
I said, let me ask you another question. Who among you has opened this book?
Yeah, that's another loaded question.
Nope, not one kid.
I'm not surprised.
Thank you for being honest. Now, let me reflect just a little bit on how I ran the class. They probably would have run me out of the teaching profession if they knew. But in the beginning of the chapter, you've got like 6 bullets that are the main points that are included in the chapter. I never went further than the 6 bullets. And I would study the 6 bullets, and I'd think about what I wanted to say about each one of them, and we would talk about the 6 bullets. And then we'd have 2/3 of the class left, and I'd say, who wants to talk about something? And it was great.
You brought them a subject that they were interested in at that
Yes. And you know, they asked me some of the damnedest questions. They were great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, challenging, yeah, it's stimulating for you.
Yeah.
It's good feedback.
And it was good for them because they were able, well, a couple of them told me, I don't dare ask my parents this.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about this, you know? And we talked about sex, birth control, abortion. I mean, and these kids were smart and articulate, and it was a heck of a class. And about, 10 minutes into one class, I said something about, well, it wasn't any Holocaust, but, you know, what was there was only one Holocaust. And, Mr. Crane, what Holocaust are you talking about? I said, whoa. I said, does anyone, hands up, anybody that knows anything about the Holocaust? Well, somebody said, wasn't there a lot of people killed or something? So I said, okay, that's it. The rest of the night, we're going to talk about the Holocaust. And we talked about the Holocaust for the better part of an hour. Mm-hmm. At the end of the class, 2 girls came up to me. Mr. Crane, I have a question. Go ahead. Why don't they teach this in school?
They don't. That's the part of the
Now,
curriculum.
from what I
They don't wanna touch
understand,
it, maybe.
they touch it around the 11th grade.
Okay.
But these kids were 9th graders. But I don't know how it's presented or if it is presented. I don't know. But they wanted to know why they weren't taught that. Mm-hmm. They'd never heard of the Holocaust. And it was very interesting. It was terrific. But they were there because their parents forced them to go there. That's another question I asked them. I said, so, would you come to CCD if your parents didn't make you come? And they said, no.
They were honest.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but at least at the end they thanked me, and a couple of the boys were pretty good too. I mean, they were the strong, silent type, but once we got them I got them talking. They turned out to be very interesting young men. It was very good, but we've had a breakdown in religion in this country, and if I could push a magic button and get people going back to church and believing in the precepts of the Christian faith, I'd do it in a heartbeat, but I don't know what that button is. I don't have any idea. Hard times, I think, may bring people back to the church when they realize they got to get down on their knees and pray for help. But until that comes, I don't know. I guess the Sunday morning golf games are more important, and also Sunday morning soccer and Sunday morning softball. It seems to me that Sunday morning should be for something other than athletics. But anyway, well, it was interesting. So, I'm going to ask you guys about Bernie Sanders, who is campaigning out there for...
Today, has he got his foot pulled out of his mouth yet?
No, he's got his foot right about halfway down.
Where does this guy come from?
Yeah. So he says yesterday, one man, one vote. Everyone deserves the vote, and we got to let the prisoners vote.
I love that. Hate to say it, I think it was a Harvard student that asked him the key question.
Which was?
Would you give
The
Boston
bomber.
marathon
Yes.
bomber the right
Yeah.
to vote?
And he said yes.
Yes.
Interesting. I think that when you commit serious crimes, you forfeit the right to vote.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you don't have the right to vote. Voting is a privilege.
When you go against society and a member of society, you're trying to eliminate society. You're no longer a member. You're the enemy of the society. And you shouldn't be able to vote and regulate society at that point.
Exactly. No, I couldn't agree with you more. I think that he's going to regret saying this.
Oh, yeah, I think he did after his mouth started running, but he doesn't. He's got a mindset, a socialistic, left-leaning mindset that he can't get away from because he's a Vermont super liberal. And when he opens his mouth, stuff just rolls out. If you really think of the stuff he's saying, if you're over 16 years old, I don't know how you can buy into some of that crap that he's saying.
Yeah, they say, someone said, when you're in your 20s, you've got to be a liberal. When you're in your 40s, you've got to be a conservative. You grow up. There is no free lunch.
They used to say that a conservative was a liberal that got mugged.
Well, my favorite story about that is Jesse Jackson. In his own book, his autobiography, he tells of being in New York City and walking down the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Coming
story.
the other way is a gang of black youths. He crossed the
He
street.
crossed the street.
Oh, wow.
He said he wasn't going to meet him on the sidewalk. He didn't know who they were, what they were going to do.
When I was in New York City, I was down at the Javits place. And I was down there for a trade show.
There was hardware show used to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there every year.
And this was I forget what kind of show. It was industrial instrumentation. I think it was one of the ISA shows. And Will Chin and I worked together at the Foxborough Company. And someone told us about a deli about 6 or 8 blocks. He said, let's go to this deli. Never mind the steamed hot dogs we got here. Let's, on our lunch hour, let's about 8 blocks that way. We're walking. Fat, dumb, and happy. Laughing. Cop stopped us. Where you guys off to? And Will reaches in his pocket and he says, something, something, something deli. And the cop says, yeah, that's about 4 blocks down here. But I don't recommend you go there. In fact, I'm going to tell you to turn around and go back to the Javits Center. He said, turn around and look behind you. He was a gang of about 5 kids. They were following us.
Oh, that's right.
He said, they're following you. He said, 2 more blocks down and you're going to turn right. 2 more blocks down and you're going to get mugged. He said, we have it happening all the time. So, word to the wise, get back to the Javits Center. I'll walk part of the way back with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Jesse Jackson knew what he was doing. Wilchin and I didn't.
Yeah.
We'll get straightened out, though. But anyway, it seems to me Sanders, every one of them, now there's what, 24?
21, yeah,
Yeah,
21.
2
Something
dozen.
like
Is it
that.
that high?
Yeah, it has. We
Bush
had a couple
20
more.
and then
Seth
couple more
Moulton,
jumped,
yeah, I
he
mean,
jumped
he's,
on and
man, Seth is, you talk about Ed Markey being an empty suit. Seth Moulton.
I expected better out of him.
Yeah.
I really did.
It's
As a Marine vet and 4 tours and over what,
three
Afghanistan.
tours over in Afghanistan. I would have expected he had a better grasp
Yeah, me
on
too.
things, but he apparently has been sold
He's
this
been
bill
drinking
of
the
goods
Kool-Aid.
that this is what you got to do to succeed because, boy, he has laid an egg. But what they're saying about Sanders now, very surprising. In fact, they talked about it on Fox this morning. The difference is widening between he and Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that Biden has better catch lightning in a bottle if he's going to do anything here.
Yeah.
Because Sanders, they're actually following Sanders.
Well, he's got this young radical
That's
group that
exact-
doesn't think. When he says free tuition, free rent, free this and free that,
There's no
of
free
course
lunch.
the 20-year-olds are going, oh, great.
Yeah.
That's just what I want.
Cancel out all my educational loans. Yeah, free medical care.
That's like
you know.
one of us running for president. Get up there and just say everything that I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. Everybody's going to get $100,000 a year stipend. Everybody's going to get free mortgages.
Yeah, where the
Everybody's
hell
going to
is
get a
that gonna
house, a
come from?
car.
Tax the rich.
Yeah.
Tax the
Tax
rich.
the rich.
But
That's
they'll
all you
never
ever
do that.
That's
They
the
never
solution.
Yeah, the first year they're figuring at least $93 trillion.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
what, I mean, I don't know how many times the national budget that
I
is.
think it's
That's
probably 3 times the national
at least.
budget. So let's just say, and this is pie in the sky, you can't do it, but let's just say we take every cent away from the rich and we throw it at these.
It's just a minuscule amount.
But let's just say we
Yeah,
could
okay, yeah.
throw it at this problem and the first year was paid for. We get the money for the second year.
That's right.
And the third year.
That's
and the
right.
fourth year.
I like when Sanders used to say the millionaires and the billionaires in this country, and somebody pointed out that he was a millionaire.
Yep. Right.
And he got mad.
Yeah.
Well, if you wrote a best-selling book, you'd be a millionaire too. And he just went on to something else. He wouldn't even entertain the subject.
That was a lame answer.
Oh,
on his part.
it's like
Extremely
Warren
lame.
complaining about the one percenters, and she's a one percenter.
Yeah. By the way, she's losing ground too.
Oh, it doesn't matter what the item is or where she is. She just rises to the occasion, and that mouth opens, and crap comes out.
Do you know that I am absolutely convinced that she has Hillary Clinton disease?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Now, President Trump, like him or not, okay, wades into reporters and wades into people when he speaks to them. What do you got? What do you got? What are you? What's your question? You know, nobody's picked out. Okay, and he fields the questions, and he likes arguing with the people.
Yeah.
He can think on his feet. Hillary Clinton would never, ever speak in an unscripted.
Elizabeth Warren wants the questions in advance.
That's right. You know, you see these town meetings up in New Hampshire with Elizabeth Warren and some people. Those people are the local Democratic Party members. And they are given a card with a question on it. And that's the question they can ask her. Was one of the funniest things I ever saw on TV was Ted Kennedy on Meet the Press. One of the panelists said, blah, 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 blah. And Ted goes, wait a minute, that wasn't on the list of questions. He says, I'm not answering that. He says, that wasn't on the list of questions you submitted to my staff. In other words, I had 12 questions to study for.
Yeah.
All right? How dare you ask
Like
me
a defense
something
lawyer
else?
used to never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Right.
What a beauty. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, tell me something. Birthright citizenship is an interesting concept. We have it in this country. My father was a recipient of it. My father and his family, my grandfather and wife, I never knew her, she died before I was born, lived in New Brunswick, across from Keegan, Maine, which is now part of Van Buren, Maine.
Okay.
About as far up as you can get
Yeah.
north of where you are, Norm.
Yeah.
Up past Presque Isle.
Yeah.
And when my grandmother was about to give birth, she came to the U.S. and she gave birth in Keegan with a midwife, so that my father would be born an American citizen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, birthright citizenship is not something you find in the majority of countries. It's something
Right.
we find here, but it's kind of a rarity around the world.
Exactly. Most of the world has parental citizenship. Okay? If Grandpa Crane and Emily Crane, my grandmother, had been over to Keegan, and Daddy had been born there, and they went back over to St. Joseph's, I believe it is,
Okay.
across the river, and took up living there, I would have been a Canadian citizen. That's what they were,
Yep.
New Brunswick, you know?
A French Canadian.
A French Canadian, yeah. We go up, I've been up to Van Buren probably 3 times. And the first thing was amazed me. Nobody speaks English.
Yeah.
It's all French up there. And that's just decaying. It's just, there's
you know,
nothing left of
The
the
reason
town.
for that goes back, one of the reasons, is that we put that stipulation or idea in because we wanted citizens.
That's
We needed,
exactly
needed
right.
citizens.
Yeah.
So this was another way of getting real citizens in here.
It's wrong in this respect, it seems to me, that if you have an Islamist terrorist and his wife come to this country, somehow getting a visa or travel visa, and they have a child, she's pregnant, she has a child on American soil, that kid does not deserve to be an American. He is a Saudi or a Lebanese or, whatever. Because that's what they're going to go back, live, and raise them. This really is wrong-headed. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. But you're right. It had to do with going way back in time when we needed citizens. We needed the movement west, But anywho, okay. So guess what happened last night? Powerball got hit. $768 million.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it.
What a problem.
You got to get it away from this 24-year-old kid first. So he is going to take the lump sum, $477 million. Now, at the age of 24, I question whether that's the smart thing to do. The other thing is a 29-year annuity at $26.5 million a year. Now, 24-year-olds being what they are, I remember sort of fleetingly being 24, and I was dead from the neck up. I mean, if you pried the top of my head off, All right, there'd be young girls and beer cans in there. That's about all.
And cars.
In cars,
Cars,
yeah. So to think that he could blow a large bunch of that money and be left, well, it's hard to believe he could wipe out 477 million.
Unless you buy an island someplace. You
Yeah,
can't spend it
yeah,
on
you
consumables.
can't. But you know what? I'd make the same argument that you can't spend $26 million a
can't.
year either.
You can't.
But you got 29 years to do it.
Yep.
And I think that's a safer bet, to be honest with you.
He'll have lots of help, too.
Oh, they'll come out of the woodwork.
Right.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
don't-
guess they do.
You'll
I
have more
really
friends
do.
that you ever knew you had.
I don't need any help. I got 3 sons that'll be out of the woodwork with their hands out. No, they're good kids.
That sets you up, your kids up, your grandkids, your great-grandkids. They're all going to be wealthy.
In perpetuity.
Yeah,
You go to Fidelity and you sit down with them and you say, I want this money to last forever.
Oh, they can do it.
And they can do it.
Yep.
They can do it. And you give each one of the kids $1 million a year and you still get $23 million left.
That's a huge sum of money.
It is.
You think about all the good things you can do with something like that.
Now you're
but,
talking.
but somebody needs guidance, and because kids will blow things. That's the way it is.
Yep.
But I mean, you could set up trust for environmental things, the Audubon Society, for the YMs, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to
There's
do.
so much good you can do out of that. People will probably think I'm crazy, but
Well, they already know it, John. I've been
Yeah.
telling them.
Thank you. But for one person to have all that money, especially at that age, a lot of it's going to get wasted. It's going to get blown.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's a person's right to, if you win the lottery, you get the right to blow it. But I think it's almost criminal. They could do so many productive things with that.
Yep. Oh, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
But you know what? There's a balancing act there. You could have a heck of a good time, too,
Yeah.
and do some good things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. St. Jude's Hospital,
Oh, yeah.
on the good that they do, you could send them $100,000. Boston Children's Hospital,
Home for Little Wanderers.
the Home for Little Wonders, Rosie's Place,
Yep.
St. Francis Inn or whatever it is in Boston for the
And then you got to be
homeless.
really careful with scammers.
Oh, yeah.
Every scammer in the world is going to be at you.
Oh. Well, you're going to have to change all your telephone numbers.
absolutely.
I mean, and probably move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't possibly stay. I mean, you're right. I mean, think how many people you know in Norfolk now. And you have a check for $26.4 million in your hand. Do you think you and Sally are going to just be able to live low-key there on Needham Street? You have to put a damn stoplight in front of your house to
Not
keep the
only
traffic
that,
moving.
it becomes dangerous.
It does.
Right now, the 4 of us, there's no reason to kidnap our kids because and demand a ransom. We don't have anything to ransom.
Right.
If they know that you've just got $20 million or $100 million or $200 million, they know that you've got that asset. You and your family, particularly your family, they're in danger of some
That's
thugs taking them and holding them for
That's a
ransom.
national sport over in the Middle
Oh, yeah.
East. Kidnapping
even in Mexico.
and holding
Mexico,
them. Yeah, down in South America. Yeah, you're right. It is very, very dangerous.
This was years ago when one of the lotteries, it was on Saturday night, they had drawn the lottery, and one of the TV stations is in some couple's apartment someplace in Cambridge or some Dorchester or something, and they're all yelling and screaming, "We just won $25 million in the lottery. Oh, we're having a big party." I said, "You damn fools. You put your name, you put your address, everything out there. You don't know." I said, "First of all, you probably got the damn ticket laying around in your apartment
Or in your back pocket.
or in your back pocket. Now, you damn fools, you're crazy."
Yeah. Listen, I used to go to the racetrack
Oh, I
back
did.
as
I
a
did too.
lad. Okay? And if I ever hit a couple of $100, I was never jumping around.
No,
going,
I had to-
whoa, holy cow, I hit the perfecta, blah, blah. Very quietly go to the window and look around before I cash the ticket.
At Raynham, the dog track, I
Yep.
hit a trifecta one night for $640. And I said to Monica, standing next to me, I said, "I got this." And she says, I said, shut up. I said, Christ, there's every track rat around here watching this. Just shut up.
Yeah, I know. It's I'll never forget into Suffolk Downs. There was a guy that used to run around. A
Oh,
weirdo.
the 10%er?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or worse. I don't know what his angle was, but he wanted to buy tickets off you.
Okay.
If you didn't want to cash them, he wanted to buy them. And so I'm standing there, I'm reading the program, and
5.
I looking at things, and he's running back and forth. So I started looking at him, trying to figure out what the name of heavens is he doing. Finally, he comes up to me. Why are you looking at me? I said, I'm not looking at you. You're looking at me. He said, you stop looking at me right now. And then he walked away. And you know what I did? I stopped looking at him.
Right.
I figured there wasn't
That's a
much.
prudent thing to do.
Yeah, it wasn't much to gain by
Well, he's
continuing.
looking
But
at him,
he-
yeah.
But he had some scam going or something.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the great. It's a great place. You find one of everything in the racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Our neighbor in the town we lived in before, he and his brother, I think his parents, they all worked at Raynham. He always said, if you hit big down there, don't cash it. He says, if you want to give 10% of it, I'll give it to you and I'll get you cash for it, and then just don't worry about it. Because he always had these 10%ers, these seniors that hung around, would cash the ticket for you for 10%.
I mean, the only trouble with that, and I was, I always felt that if I gave the ticket to the guy,
Oh, yeah.
take off on you.
The neighbor, he'd give you the money right
Yeah.
away, then he'd turn
Yeah.
it over to. Yeah, you got to be careful there.
Just giving some bum a
No,
ticket.
no,
and
no, no.
You have to walk with him to the window,
Oh,
and now you're
absolutely.
defeating your purpose, you know. You know what that happened? Right in Norfolk, I hit a $1,000 scratch-off ticket, and the guy at the convenience store said to me, you don't want to cash this. I got a guy in Woonsocket. He'll come up and he'll give you $850 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, I'll cash it myself. Don't be a damn fool. Maybe he'll give you $900 for it. But of course, he'd get a cut of it. Of
course.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
How did you win $1,000 on a scratch ticket?
And you know what? It was a $5 ticket.
$5.
ticket. You know what happened? I hit a scratch ticket for $300, and I bought $300 worth of $5 tickets. The next to the last ticket I scratched was $1,000.
Oh, no kidding.
I wasn't even close to getting my money back. But then I took a ride down a Braintree and had to go in there, and they gave you a check for it. They take taxes out, then they give you a check for it.
Now you can only. I forgot what the limit was at Braintree. Otherwise, you got to go to Dorchester now.
Not Dorchester, but
Or
it's
Roxbury.
about
One of the.
2 or 3 towns away from Braintree. But you know, I don't want to go in the intercity.
We just got the 2.
Oh, 2.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. John.
It certainly does. Oh, one candidate for public, no, it wasn't either that. It was a member of the Disney family was mad because the president of Disney revealed his compensation for last year, $65 million. She went crazy and told reporters, this is wrong, it's insane, it's what's wrong with the United States. This is 2,400% more than a worker makes. Well, guess what? His base salary was $700,000. The rest of it was all incentives are based on the stock value. This guy made the stock go up. $65 million is peanuts compared to how much the stock went up and how much every stockholder got. You know?
That's a big improvement for Disney, because I remember when Disney, the Eisner era,
Yeah.
Christ, they used to lose big money and they'd still give them millions of dollars.
Yeah,
of
the
bonus.
guy that replaced Eisner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's done marvelously well.
I said,
People
Christ,
don't-
I could do that and lose that much money and pay me.
Yeah,
I'll do it for
you
half
know,
the price.
That's right, exactly true. I mean, when you look at how much value he produces for that company, $65 million is cheap. It's a drop in the bucket. But young Miss Disney doesn't quite understand that. I'd like to have that problem. Well, folks, I had an ambitious plan for today's show, but I still haven't gotten to this list of questions yet, which is what I was going to do
That means,
before.
like it or not, that means we're going to come back.
That's right. That means that 2 or 3 weeks from now, stay tuned, because like Freddy Krueger, clawing his way out of the grave, we'll be back. All right?
You'll hear the sound. They're back.
So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, any of you folks out there who would like to come in and sit in on one of these little panel shows that we have,
That's right.
give me a call. I'm in the phone book, and we'll talk about it. I would really like from time to time to bring a new person on board, get some new ideas, some new thoughts. So if there's any of you out there that say, and you're saying to yourselves, I could do better than these bozos.
We'll put you right in the middle and we'll see.
And we'll let you prove it. So anyway, folks, happy springtime. Go Red Sox, go Bruins, go Celtics, and go to bed. That's it. Good night now.